someone who's ambitious and always pushing for more, you already know how important confidence is. In today's video, I'll be unlocking something that goes deeper than the usual advice about confidence. This is the real stuff and no fluff advice about confidence, so make sure to stick around. I wanted to make this video because my perspective on confidence has done a total 180-degree turn over the past few years. And I think I've finally figured out what real, lasting confidence actually is. And trust me, it's not what most people think. So today, I'm breaking down the 7 powerful mindset shifts that will also help you in building that rock-solid, healthy confidence you can always rely on. So without delaying things any further, first thing on the list is understanding that achieving more success won't necessarily make you more confident. Confidence is an internal job. And so often we think that the more successful we become, the more confident we will feel. You hear it all the time. Once I get the promotion, that job, that pay rise, I'll feel more confident. Or once I accomplish this or that, confidence will naturally follow. But here's the thing. Hitting milestones and achieving success can give you a quick dopamine hit, a temporary reward that feels great in the moment. After a while, that feeling tends to level off, and your confidence stays in exactly the same place. Accomplishments can fire up your reward system, but they don't change the core of your self-worth. You might find yourself needing the next big achievement to keep that feeling alive. Think about people who have impressive list of accomplishments, but still struggle with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Why? Because confidence isn't about checking off goals. It's about how you feel about yourself. And no amount of success can change that. Success alone can give you a temporary boost, but it isn't sustainable for real confidence. Relying on accomplishments to feel good means being at the mercy of the next milestone. But real lasting confidence comes from accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all, right now. So focus less on proving yourself through accomplishments and more on building that strong inner foundation of self-acceptance and resilience. Focus on the internal wins, not the external ones. And that means measuring your growth by how you respond to challenges, how you show up for yourself, and how you practice self-acceptance, rather than by what you achieve and how others see you. That's the kind of confidence that's unshakable. So remember, confidence isn't a destination, it's an inside job. Number 2 on the list is understanding that confidence is a skill, not a trait. Most people think that confidence is something you either have or you don't. Like a lucky trait that some are born with while others miss out on. But confidence isn't a gift or an exclusive quality. It's a skill that anyone can build, refine, and own over time. Confidence really is like a muscle, one that strengthens each time you trust yourself enough to try, to follow through, and keep going. Because confidence grows when you take action, when you do the things that you've set out to do, when you get through the difficult times, when you do the things that make you uncomfortable, and every time you choose to rely on yourself instead of waiting for others to affirm your worth. Confidence is essentially a daily practice of taking small, meaningful actions that prove to yourself, I am capable, I am resilient. This shifts confidence from something that you hope to feel to something that you decide to create. And this perspective is game-changing because it means confidence is completely within your control. Each choice you make to honor your goals, each moment you push beyond your self-doubt, strengthens that inner belief. And when you see it this way, confidence stops being a mystery and becomes a skill that you can master on your own terms. And nobody can take that away from you. Okay, so moving on to the 3rd mindset on the list. And it ties quite nicely with what we've just discussed. And that's understanding that you need to be proactive about building confidence. If you are serious about building confidence, it almost has to become your mission. It's something that has to be on your to-do list every single day. In fact, if you have your to-do list handy right now, I dare you to add it in and write it down. Confidence doesn't just appear on its own. It's something you have to work on intentionally. I see so many people who wait for confidence to kick in before trying something new or putting themselves out there. But confidence actually grows through action, especially when you do the uncomfortable. In other words, you have to take steps to build confidence actively, not passively. Because the sad truth is that every time you hold back, you're not just missing out a chance, you're silencing a part of yourself that craves the growth. And this in itself can also lead to more feelings of worthlessness and low self-esteem. If you wait for confidence to find you, you might be waiting forever. And you might be preventing your own happiness and fulfillment in life. If this one on the list is a bit controversial, but just hear me out. Failure leads to confidence. We often think of confidence as a byproduct of success, as if we need to achieve perfection to feel good about ourselves. But here's the truth. Confidence is actually built on our failures and the lessons that we learn from them. The reality is that confidence isn't about getting everything right all the time. It's about developing that resilience to face setbacks. Think back to school. Your top achievers, the ones who never seem to struggle, they often carried that heavy burden of needing to be perfect and the best right through high school, right into college, and even into adulthood. They were almost conditioned to believe that their worth was somehow tied to their grades and accomplishments. Now, in my experience, when I look back at those high achievers from my high school days, I see that they're not necessarily the ones who are thriving in life or even the happiest. In contrast, those who may not have been the highest achievers, the ones who face disappointment and face failures, they never tied their whole identity to being the best. As adults, they are often the ones who are truly flourishing. Why? Because they learn to embrace their mistakes, to navigate the bitterness that failure can bring, and to grow more resilient in the process. And most importantly, they stopped being so afraid of putting themselves out there, of trying something new just in case they fail. Each time you embrace failure, you build tolerance to it. You begin to let go of the social pressure to appear perfect and accomplished all the time. You learn that your value as a person is not tied to your successes or your failures. And this realization is so liberating because it allows you to take more risks without the crippling fear of judgment. Instead of viewing setbacks as a sign of inadequacy, you begin to recognize them as valuable lessons that can contribute to your growth. And the more you practice this mindset, the more resilient you will become. The next truth about confidence is that imposter syndrome is the result of being a high performer while also having low self-esteem. If you are someone who consistently meets deadlines, exceeds targets, or receives praise from peers, yet you still feel like a fraud, attributing your achievements to luck or external factors rather than your hard work or talent, that's imposter syndrome. This feeling is not only disheartening, but it can also be massively debilitating, holding you back from fully enjoying your successes and pushing you to overlook the effort that you've put into your work. Imposter syndrome often stems from that deep-rooted lack of self-esteem. As I mentioned before, many high achievers grew up with the message, whether from parents, from teachers, or society, that their worth is somehow tied to their accomplishments. But this creates a false narrative that only through achievement you can truly feel validated. But if you want to feel more confident about your successes, you need to build that strong foundation of self-worth that is completely separate from your performance. To break free from imposter syndrome, you need to cultivate a sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on your achievements. So from today, begin recognizing that you are inherently valuable regardless of your performance. With this shift, you'll see that you have nothing to prove to anyone, not even yourself. You are already worthy, just as you are. So once you begin to develop that inner confidence, an important thing to remember is that confidence needs to be protected and nourished. Confidence isn't something that you achieve once and just keep forever. Think about it. You've probably had moments where you felt on top of the world, but then life happens. You face some criticism, you experience some setbacks, and you find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's. Just like that, your confidence begins to crumble. You have to actively protect and nourish your confidence. It's your internal job to reinforce it against external attacks, whether it's criticism, failure, or even your own negative self-talk. And that might mean being very selective about who you let into your inner circle. Make sure to always surround yourself with people who truly lift you up instead of those that try to bring you down. You don't need any negativity dragging you into a pit of self-doubt. It also means learning how to become your own best friend. When you mess up, which will happen, don't beat yourself up. Treat yourself with the same level of kindness as you would anyone else who you love. In today's very digital world, be very mindful of what you consume. If you're constantly scrolling through social media comparing yourself to others, you're bound to feel like you're not measuring up. Make sure to cut out the noise that doesn't serve you and protect your confidence at all costs. To wrap things up, remember that confidence isn't about feeling good. It's about building a strong foundation that supports you through life's ups and downs. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know by clicking like and subscribing and also hitting that bell notification button.